This is the podcast that is called Word Value, which represent the power of word, culture, life experience, and everything in general. And I'm Don, your host, and I'm glad that we have a very special guest today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, I'm Liz. I'm from Uganda. Me and Don are friends. We've gotten through this last year. It was hectic, but we made it.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, to be honest, I felt very connected with our first semesters.
Yes.
To be honest, the whole class, everybody, we actually know them personal life too, not just work as a team and then don't talk to each other's, which now actually kind of found myself to be in. But this is a great experience, yeah.
Yeah.
And you excited going to Brazil in a couple weeks?
Well, I'm a bit nervous, but I'm also a bit excited because it's like a new experience, but I'm also a bit sad because I'm just like, oh my God, France went so quickly.
Right.
It's just like, oh my God. Then Brazil's going to go quickly and then like, oof.
Right?
Life is going to go super quickly. Like this year is already like we're in the third month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
also,
a bit fast.
we met at the first orientation. You reached out to me first.
Like I'm telling you, I swear, like Don, when I first saw you, I told you this. You remind me, I forget the guy from Crazy Rich Asians, and he's one of my favorite characters on Crazy Rich Asians as well. Please, do you remember his name?
I actually watched that, but I don't remember the character. But I familiar him was talking with Aquafina.
Yes,
Yes,
Aquafina.
they were both like a dual in the movie. Yeah.
Yes. What is it? Yeah, no. Oh my God. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't remember his name.
It's okay.
He has a very flamboyant, very energetic, very lively character. The life of the party, the life of the room, which is what you were on the first day. Because you were literally mingling with everyone.
Yeah.
You were kicking and the energy was right. I liked it.
To be honest, yeah, I didn't realize it until you told me about it. Also, like that part, I also remember your energy as well. Like reaching out to people first. It doesn't have to be you go first, you go second. To be honest, just go. If you feel the right energy, just go and talk. So then we connected. We have something to tell people, you know, what the first experience. And I felt like, oh my God, she's really cool. She's reached out to me. I reached out to her and we talk. And, you know, because it's all of her first time. And to be honest, I never been contributed in this kind of very friendly international atmosphere like this because I live in Cambodia, you know. A majority are Asian. We met a professor, teachers, foreigner, but we don't really have this kind of connection. So I'm thankful, to be honest.
I am as well. I thought you were really like cool. And I thought that the vibe was really good. Even with everyone in our class. I think even
everyone
have said it, like our class is really dynamic.
Right.
We're able to click on the go without it being like, okay, this person, this person. So yeah, it was really, I liked our class a lot and I like the people and I hope like maybe years from now, maybe 10 years from now, they're like, okay, we have a reunion.
Oh, please.
Comes and
it'd
be amazing.
Keep up with each other's and see people changes.
We're definitely going to keep up with each other. That one
we
is
should.
Definite. That one is a definite because like I said, guys, I believe Don will be a director in the future. Mark my words. Or he'll be production or he'll own a production.
It will be something,
you never know.
You too.
Big.
Oh.
Big.
Well, thank you.
Think big.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. If we just talk about the two of us or the people in our class, there's so many things that we kind of connected. And I see a connection, all of us. Like, I'm saying all of us is all of us, to be honest. Including, some people are difficult to work with, but still. But we still feel something connected and personal because we know each other,
That's true.
All right, let's just jump in the topic in a bowl of glass.
Oh God, let me pick a nice topic.
Yeah.
Lord.
And then show to the camera, yes. Just choose one. What is it?
Oh my God. And how was it this that I had to pick? Relationships.
Was it said relationship?
Yes.
Okay. A relationship can be boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife, mothers and sister. Mothers and sister, mothers and daughters, and mothers and sons. So many different kind of relationship that you can talk about, right? I mean, are you sure? Are you able to change?
No, it's okay. I believe in going with whatever God gives me, like as a first thing.
Right.
I'll just go with it.
Maybe it's connected to some dot, you know. You never know.
Yeah, well, I've just been going through a lot,
Yeah.
to be honest, when it comes to relationships. So, what do you want to know?
So the question is, can you define the definition of relationship based on your personal experience and your own knowledge?
I think with relationships, it's just connecting with someone, making sure that that person and you have similar goals, or just making sure that they're okay. Because you give, they take, you give. It's a two-way sort of thing, and it can be both like romantic, family, friends, even just people that you meet on the street. Like that's a relationship in itself. When you meet someone and you say hello, how are you doing, like that can be someone you meet. But when you ask people about like how they're feeling, and they're able to translate it into you and like tell you like, okay, I'm not feeling well, and they can be able to feel like you're able to care about them, that's a good relationship, and vice versa.
Yeah, I think relationship wise, it's applied to everything that you said. It's not about all inclusive, intimate relationship like your like boyfriends or girlfriends. I think it's much more than that. Even the word companionship also apply in the relationship as well. Sometimes it's even more powerful than, you know, love's type of things, you know. Because when you feel certain thing or you feel struggling in certain of your life, there's friends where you can go to, you know, different friend too. This person was really good with when it comes to business, you know, idea, but this person is really good with emotional intelligence, you know, right? That's life work. So for me, I feel the same thing when it comes to a relationship definition. For you, when it comes to the word relationship, what is the most valuable or important relationship that you have?
I think my relationship with with God, because I'm Christian, and I believe every day. I don't have a perfect relationship with God, but I'm just learning to be in the moment, learning to like be grateful for the things that I have, the people that I have around me, what God has given to me. I think that's important to me, and even with friends and family, because I mean, we're all growing. Like the things that we knew like 5 years ago is not what it is now. How we were as people 5 years ago is not how it is now. And even with friendships, like I said, I met you and it's like, okay, you've taught me a lot through our friendship and with everybody else I've met. So even with those different stages of life that you go through, you find a friend, that sort of relationship you have, even if it's for the moment, it's something that like you'll learn from it, you'll enjoy it, you'll remember it. And it gives you some sort of warmth. That's how I feel around like friends who uplift me, my family. So that's important to me. Romantically, I'm not yet there. Because the world is a bit crazy now, and I just feel like dating wise, everybody's on a different page. You can think that, okay, this person cares about you, and then you find out they're lying, or you find out like they weren't really into it, and then you're just like, oh my god, I wasted time with this person. So romantic relationships, it hasn't yet like hit for me personally, but I think for the people who are in romantic relationships, it's just more, the most important thing is to make sure that the person you're with actually has your back amid like just remove tangible things, physical things. Are you happy with that person when you're sad? Are they able to uplift you and vice versa? Are you able to like be in a room and like enjoy each other's company without having things or phones? And are you like just generally like feeling whole, feeling like, okay, yeah, this person is somebody that I want to stick around. Like that's the most important thing I think for me in like a romantic relationship. I want to feel support, and I want to feel like I can be comfortable around you.
So why do you think romantic relationship now or nowadays was very difficult or different from the past, according to what you have told us?
I think right now we're in a fast age. Everybody is like wanting like tangible things. Like everything is a bit more tangible now. Like even just sitting down like how we did today, like getting together and talking about what's going on in your life or what challenges or successes you've had. This generation and like just the way the world is right now, everybody's like, okay, they're on their phone, they're on Instagram, they're on Snapchat, like, oh, well, I've gone out for this, but not really in the moment. Like, you find people don't even know, like, okay, this person is struggling with this, or just asking, like, okay, how was your day? I saw that you weren't looking happy yesterday, you're feeling better today. We're not really in the moment. We're more so trying to show the world, like, okay, I have the best guy, or I have the best girlfriend, she's the prettiest, she's the this, without it really being like, okay, is this person supporting you? I can give you like a personal, not personal from my experience, but a guy I talked to, like, I think a few months ago, he was telling me about he was married previously, and then he broke up with his wife and he became polyamorous. Means that he messed with many people. And I was like, whoa, that was a very big transition. And then he was like, yeah, but like with my wife, I gave her the world. I thought that we were like building to something, but she was living for the phone, she was living for Instagram. She would get her phone and then just screen me and like show her friends, I have a very handsome husband, but like when we'd get home, we'd fight, we wouldn't even like talk to each other, we'd pretend smile on Instagram, but at home we weren't like happy. So one day I just said, you know what, it's not working anymore. I don't want to pretend anymore, I just want to leave. And I was like, oh my God, like he was valid in the way he was thinking, because I mean, if you're not happy in your relationship, then Godspeed, you should get out. But that drastic change from like going from like being in a single relationship to now like he has 20 different partners, I was like, wow. But that's just the way that generation is right now, and I feel like I don't know where it's going to be in the next 10 years. It could be even worse, but I think it's just important for like as a person not to really be like so hooked on like, I want to, let's say, have $1 million, I want my husband to do this, or I want my girlfriend to look like this, or I want first kind of see like, okay, when you're with this person, do they try to at least get the best out of you? Do they try to make sure you're okay? Do they, at least those box needs to be ticked before you start looking at like, okay, money and all these other factors. But also just not really depending on what your friends, because especially with girls, we're so fixated on like trying to show off to everyone through Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, like, oh, I'm living the best life, but when you go home you're just depressed. So I think for people, just kind of not be online when it comes to relationships, keep that a bit more private. Privacy is important in a relationship as well.
Like to me, I felt the same thing. For me personally, when I was in a relationship, the significant others, when they use their phone, for example, like texted, I felt very insecure or uncomfortable, because I felt like you said, sometimes maybe because of a person you are was living the moment. So if you want to spend time or invest time with me by like having on a date or sitting on a couch with your significant others, but then one person was like engaging with another conversation, either it's not considered cheating, but with other person, I felt like very left out, and I felt like that's not right for me. But I felt like sometimes they also need to catch up or have their own space at that moment as well, and they even work. Just so sometimes texting your coworker in order to adjust some problem with their workplace and everything else. So for me personally, I think that's part I have to work on myself when it comes to the relationship. Also, I also not looking for a person who very, technology usage for useless something, you know what I mean, right? Because sometimes it's very affected when it comes to relationship in general. Even with your friends or your parents, in a dinner table, you organize everything just nicely, but then all the kids was using their phone. Not even talking to each other now. So this is not a good relationship that I would actually imagine myself to be. And also, can you define healthy relationship to you?
I think healthy relationships is just being open with your partner about everything under the sun. If you're unhappy, you should be able to tell. But anyways, healthy relationships can also be outside platonic relationships. Just being open with the person and also being able to, for them to be open to you. Because like I think for me, even like with friendships, sometimes you should be able to take criticism even when you're not maybe looking for it.
Yeah.
You need to be able to take it even from your friends, from your family, from your partner, because sometimes I think as human beings we think, okay, especially with me, I can say for girls, we think we're always right, but sometimes we're wrong. So sometimes even when you don't like it, go and sit with it for a moment and like be like, okay, this person felt like this when I say this to them. Okay, I think I need to adjust. That's being healthy, because then you're able to take a negative and try to make it into a positive. But if you're like always combative when like somebody gives you some sort of criticism and you're not able to at least listen to that person's part, then it becomes chaotic and you're not able to like relate, and then obviously the relationship as a whole just dismantle. So I think it's just being able to listen to the good and the bad from different people and vice versa, and being constructive in that point, not being like, okay, you want to put someone down, but being able to say it in a way that the person doesn't also feel like you're targeting them or like you're trying to push them down, just being able to lift them.
So have you ever experienced or heard of a hurtful relationship, like the most hurtful one that you have had or you have seen or you have witnesses, either romantics or any kind of relationship that you had?
I think hurtful relationship, I've not been in one that was hurtful to the extent where I was like, oh my god, but I think with my friends, I have been in friendships that didn't end the way that I would have expected them, in the sense of, for me, I don't think that it would be like, I don't want to ever be in this position where like if I had you as a friend, it ends on this point where you have such a negative perception of me because of how I treated you. But that hasn't always been the same for me. Like even with some of the friends that I've had over the years, especially high school, there was a point where like I had friends who would go and talk badly about me to people who didn't even know me. And then those people will come and tell me like, yo, your friend said, let's say for example, you slept with this guy in your class. And I was like, why is this person saying this about me? And then, you know, that person goes and comes and like smiles with you and they're like, no man. I'm like, I know in my head you said something about me, but you're lying to my face. So those sorts of friendships, like when it ended, I can't even talk to those sorts of people right now, because like I hate people who come up with lies in order to like break your character. And like those sorts of friendships where like you want to hurt somebody for whatever reason, whether it's because you're jealous or whether it's because maybe they did something bad to you in the past, I think that's the wrong sort of mentality. And those sorts of relationships, like for me with my friendships at that time, I really like that those two people were like my closest friends. So when that friendship ended, I was just like, oh God, I didn't want to talk to anyone. Like I think for a full month I was so surprised, because I was really close. Like the person who did this, even with the other friends of ours, that like they were like, you guys were so good, and I was like, you guys don't even know what happened, because I didn't tell anyone about it. But this person was still like, you know, trying to pretend like, no, it's just, and I was like, bro, I can't be around people who lie and then go and lie about me to other people. Like that's the sort of like hurtful relationship, because I really loved that person as a friend. So I was like, I don't know why you did that, but I let it be, and I said peace be to you, but we can't be friends.
Do you think they try to apologize or reflected on themselves that they felt like really bad, they wanted to resolve the relationship as a friendship?
Well, I saw the person 2 years ago, and no, they weren't remorseful about it. But the thing also I take with it is like, okay, I have to do some criticism on myself as well, and say like, okay, maybe in some way, shape or form, I may have offended this person. That's why I say peace be unto you. And my experience of somebody may not be the experience of the next person, because some people really love that girl.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, even if we're not friends, peace be with you, I think you're still an awesome person. And you just learn for it. Like, I think with relationships and friendships, a lot of people hold on to this fact like, okay, this person wronged me, so they're going to be wrong to everyone. Yeah. No, somebody may not be right for you, but they'll be right for the right person.
Yeah.
So that's even with friendships. Some people are not meant to be friends, and that is okay. But you can't stop them from being friends with everyone else.
Exactly.
So you should be able to be like, okay, for my own personal sanity, we can't be friends. But you can go be friends with everyone else. And that is fine.
Yeah, that's a mature thing.
Should do.
Exactly.
Should do.
That's a mature relationship that you should have with your friends.
Yeah.
Even though you're not connected with that friends, it doesn't mean that you have to convene other people for the whole community to hate or to distance from.
Because she is an amazing person to other people. So like my experience of her doesn't extend to everyone else. That's the way I see it. So like we've just had full relationships, learning to grow from it, and also like just saying like, okay, this person was bad to me, but I don't think that people are inherently bad to everyone.
Exactly, at some point.
So they could be bad to you in that moment, whatever hurt them in that moment, but they could be an angel to other people.
Exactly.
So you just have to let it be, grow from it, learn from it, and move on.
Yeah.
Move on.
So go back to romantic relationship. Have you ever seen, I guess we've heard of this, or even experienced what kind of relationship that people had? So sometimes it's cheating. So cheating one, forgive one. But then the second time or third, it's probably changing. Do you believe in this statement or no?
Well, when I was like 21, I think, guys, I'm not saying that I'm super old, I'm in my 20s, but like 21 was, I was a whole different person. I think your personality changes as you grow older. Like the stuff that when I was in relationships at that time, I was like, cheating is wrong. I would never get with somebody. And indeed, like even with the guys that I dated, when I found out they cheated on me with somebody, and I was like, I cut you off like that, and then I didn't tolerate it. But like, one, it's according to the sort of relationship you're in, and it's according to if that person, if it's like a systematic thing. If the person is going to continuously cheat, if you don't believe in that, just walk away. Because you can't change people's personalities unless they want to change it on their own.
Yeah.
But you also have to factor in like a lot of things. What sort of relationship do you have? Do you have commitment in your relationship? If you tell the person like, okay, I'm going to be only with you, then that should be it.
Yeah.
If you decide to go and cheat, then that's not a commitment anymore. And that goes towards marriage and all these other commitments. People like, if you've set the standard and you've said like, okay, I'm only going to be with you, fine, then let it be like that. If you go and cheat, then it's not a commitment anymore. That's why even like with the guy I mentioned earlier on, who said like, okay, he was in a polyamorous relationship, he went out of his marriage and he sought that. So all the women that he has been with, he has let them know,
well, I think
want to be.
That's a great perspective of a person.
Yeah.
He is actually, because he didn't actually reject it the way he is. He actually very honest himself, telling everybody that, oh, actually I'm in this state of mind.
You could, okay, just imagine two scenarios. You're with a guy. Initially, everything was good. Your physical sex, it was okay. But then like emotionally, you start like not clicking because of maybe obviously wanting to keep up with social media, wanting to keep up with your friends' lifestyles, whatever it could be. It could be about money, it could be about the way you look, all these different factors. So you start to emotionally withdraw. And usually in those situations, you start, or you could find somebody else that can, because somehow, somewhere you'll meet somebody who will like be like, oh, what's up? Like, how are you doing? Just that, how you're doing as a woman, whew, it's like, can I really tell you? can I really tell you how I'm feeling?
Please.
Once you go into that, like, you start to like undress and unpack everything that you're feeling. And if you find somebody in that moment who is able to like listen to you and also like understand where you're coming from, it's on a deeper level, and somebody you can laugh with. I think the thing about like relationships, that it's like a phase. You start like being, and I think I would say it's like this: you're all happy, you're like trying to get to know each other, you're ecstatic, you're wanting to explore things. Then like when you start really getting to know each other, you become a bit complacent. It becomes a bit dormant, like you're not really trying to do stuff, which is what a lot of relationships become like. And if you stay at that dormant phase, it starts to decline, because at some point you're just like, okay, yeah, I have this person. And a lot of relationships, once you get into that phase, that's where like somebody else can creep in, and then you go back to the ecstatic phase where like somebody's giving you all this joy and like excitement about things. So you never want to be like in that situation, I think, especially if you're with a woman.
Yeah.
Like you want to, it's not like I'm saying you have to be exciting all the time. That's not really possible.
Yeah.
But you have to always be able to like check in and see like, okay, from time to time, because you're going to go through different phases of your life.
Yeah.
But you need to be able to talk with a person and also explore things. Like for me, my personality is, I don't really want somebody who is like telling me like, okay, this week we're just going to do the same stuff. I'm kind of like a bit more adventurous, and it's not adventurous in a sense of like it has to be something very dramatic. It can just be like, okay, let's go race car karting today, and then maybe let's go on a hike next week. Those are two extreme, like very big extremes. Go-karting is like, whew, that's fast. Then hiking is like intimate. So having those different impulses, sparks, like high, low, I think it somehow equalizes. But if you only have low, or if you have too much high, it's also a bit too much. You have to have like different impulses, high, low, so that you're able to balance out your year. So that's why I'm like, with relationships, emotionally, like with your person, you're going to have very bad lows where like you don't understand each other, but there should also be highs where you really enjoy each other. You really like get to laugh, talk, experience something new. Like you also need to, I think the other thing is with people, when it comes to like, let's say New Year's goals, oh my God, I want to fly to this country. Or I want to, I don't even know what extravagant thing I've seen on Instagram, but even with my friends, some of the things that they want to do sometimes are like over the top. Like, okay, I want to fly to Miami and I want to spend like 5K. And I'm like, guys, can we like start on something very simple? My country is beautiful, so we have beaches. Why don't we start out like, okay, we can just make like a picnic basket and just take a drive and go do something together. Those sorts of things keep your relationship kind of balanced. But if you put like a very high goal, don't get me wrong, you can have high goals, but start with like small little impulses, and then you build up to like, okay, we're going to Miami, and like you still have a lot around you. Experience it. Like even with friends, when I came, I was like, okay, I didn't know. I was like, okay, it's a bit dead on Sunday. Let me be honest with you, because people are not doing a lot on Sunday. But when I went to Paris and I went to Place d'Italie, I went around and I just liked being in the moment and seeing like, okay, people are moving, people are happy. And I started to be like, okay, it may be a different type of experience for me, but I can appreciate it. Being appreciative also in the moment and be like, okay, it's not exactly what you were expecting, but like find something in that moment that you're like, okay, I want to do this. Is something that I'm excited to do. I mean, even today, like just coming, having friends around, we could have been like, okay guys, let's go out to like dinner or something, and like, yeah, that's cool, but we were able to chill, we were able to like get to know each other, listen to music, have fun. It's an experience. Have those small impulses, like don't make it so, extreme. So like with emotional relationships, emotional cheating, it usually becomes because of either having that imbalance. You have too much highs where like you're trying to go for very extreme experiences, or you have no like very basic experiences, like you're not trying to do stuff. You need to kind of balance it between have high, low, and then it's somehow somewhere it will balance like a flat line in between.
Yeah. Wow. It was perfect described with the emotional cheating. Actually very important. We can put it as a highlight, you know. I think I have a question about people who struggling in a relationship of any kind, you know, parents with kids, girlfriends with boyfriend, girlfriend with like any kind of relationship that people are struggling. No matter the topic is cheating or more than that, they was not happy in a relationship. Do you have any advice or tips for people in general to kind of like lift them up on both sides? Either it works out or it don't. Like, yeah, please share.
I think firstly, just don't beat yourself up about relationships. Especially, okay, I'll start with like maybe romantic relationships. You're going to grow. And the way you were like 5 years ago is not going to be the way you're going to be in the next 5 years. Your interests are going to change. The things you like, the things you don't like, they are going to change under the sun. But the most important thing is just to be grateful in the moment, and also open to new things, open to new experiences, and be like, if you're in a relationship that is on the rocks, sometimes take space away from each other and kind of recoup, readjust, see like, okay, and think. I have what I call a wall of truth for my own personal self. I write both the good things and the bad things that maybe have happened to me, or the things that I like or I don't like. But then I also write my goals and my weaknesses. So you can do that also with relationships. You can write all the good things about your relationship and the bad things. Then the goals that you have for them and the weaknesses that are in them as well. So when you start like adjusting, if you see like, okay, one is too imbalanced, where it's like there's so much negative, then maybe you need to go and talk to your partner and be like, oh, I think this is not working out. And I think your partner should also be able to do that with you as well. They should also have like a chat, like some sort of wall of truth, and say like, okay, I don't think this is working out. If it's an imbalance on both sides, there's no reason why you should stay together, especially if you don't see a future with each other. Like, I think a lot of people stay in relationships because they feel like they have to. You should always be able to be alone. I think that's one thing like people are not able to do in this day and age, being alone for a particular period of time and just assessing yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, what you want in life, and the challenges you're experiencing. Once you've assessed that, then you can be able to understand everyone else. But if you're not able to be alone with yourself as a person, it's really hard for you to be in a relationship with someone else, because then you're not able to understand what you bring or what you take from that relationship. So then I would say, like with friends, give your friends grace, especially as you're getting older. Like, you're all in different phases. You're all trying to understand life. You're trying to understand, okay, where am I going in my career, in my relationship? If you're going to have kids, if you're not going to have kids, are you moving to a different country? So I think it's really important for people to be like, okay, with the friendships you have in the moment, if you're able to like be with your friend in the moment, enjoy that moment. One of my best friends I've been friends with since 2015. We last saw each other in 2015. And we don't talk like regularly. We talk like maybe every 3 months. And I just had a call with her like, I think last week. We talked for about 6 hours. And she's one of the people like I can talk to like that, and it's not weird. We can take 6 months without talking, and it's like we just talked yesterday when we start talking. Because we don't have those sorts of limitations or expectations that, oh, I'm expecting to talk to you every day. I'm expecting for you to come and do ABCD with me, because she just got married. Oh, and if you see this, Syra, I love you. I love you, because the vibe we get off each other is on another level. but like I'm there to tell her like I'm happy for you, I'm supportive of you, I'm very glad for what's going on with you, even if I'm not like physically there to be able to be with her. So like with your friendships, they're going to change. You may be in a different place, but the most important thing is when you do reconvene, are you in the moment? Are you able to enjoy each other's company? Are you able to live in the moment and also take those memories and build off them? I think that's the thing with friendships. You shouldn't be like, okay, this is the part. You have to be there for every single thing, because shit happens. You cannot be there thinking like, oh, my best friend is going to be here for like, let's say your marriage, then for your kid's birth, then they may not. Stuff happens. Maybe they get pulled into something. We're all working. They may not be able to get work leave, for example. But if they are genuinely happy for what's going on in your life, that should be enough. I think for me personally, with the friends that I have, I don't have expectations of like, oh my god, you guys have to show up for me. No, I just feel like when I'm around you, is the vibe right? Are you actually happy for me, for whatever is going on with me? If you are, that's enough for me. That's what a good friend is. Like when you are going through the best parts of your life, they should be happy about it. When you're sad, they should be able to support you and lift you in those moments. They don't really need to do all the other necessary. And then it's the same with family as well. Like obviously you can't choose family, but I mean, you have to adjust. You have to be able to grow. You have to be able to say like, okay, we're all in different parts, but like when we reconvene, do we enjoy each other? Do we support each other? Are we there for each other? And it doesn't have to be, like I said, physically there. But if you call, like, let's say your brother, like, and you're telling them about your day, are they able to say, okay, I'm feeling okay, I can give you some advice on this, without it being like prejudiced or like jealous, like the jealous type of advice? If you're able to do that, then that's a good family member to me. Being able to be open with your family members, whether you're at your highest or your lowest, if you're going through a hard moment or your best moments, they should be able to support you without having any sort of negative attitude towards it.
Yeah.
That's what I think healthy relationships should be like, and that's how you navigate both. If you're in a negative relationship, how to get out of it. You have to assess like, is this person genuinely happy or sad, or at least able to feel what's going on with me and give me the right sort of advice? If they are not, then you have to assess and see like, okay, do I really want this person in my life, or can I maybe love them from afar? Because for family you can't like, oh, I mean you can, but like, I mean you can't. So maybe it's just about having space and being like, I can love you from afar, but you're not really the best person to be in my life. You're not the best person to have around me, and that is okay. In this day and age, you should be able to be like, okay, this person is not good for me. If somebody is not good for your mental, your physical, every part of your body, better for you to kind of put them aside and enjoy your life. That's the most important thing. And grow and learn. Should be kind of like nonchalant, whatever you want to do. When you see a person not putting in effort into their relationship, and then they're like, okay, you know what, I'm not really interested anymore in what's going on here. I'm not interested in putting in the effort. Whatever you ask, I'm just going to do it. Chicks, like women, check out probably a good 6 months before they start to cheat. That's one thing, because you're just like, okay, if this person is, you start thinking like, okay, he's not putting in that effort, he's not doing this, he's not doing that. So maybe I need to actually like resolve, pull back, and start to look at it. And then you'll find another guy who may be interested, ticks all the boxes, is making you laugh, is taking you where you want to go, is really trying to spend time with you. We cheat actually more emotionally. Because once you find a guy who can emotionally like click with you as a woman, it's on another level. I'm so sorry, like guys think it's like, okay, it's just about sex. For men, I think maybe I can't talk about it for men, but for women, if you can find a guy who like emotionally gets you, oh, it's very hard to even get out of those sorts of relationships, because you go back to like the person you're with and you're like, why am I here? What is it that I'm still here for? Like, I think emotional cheating is actually worse, because like with sex you can find different variations. But
wait, can you define emotional cheating? Like, give us some example too.
Emotional cheating is basically like, let's say I'm with someone and we're able to talk about everything under the sun, your fears, your challenges, your successes, the dreams you have for yourself. You're able to joke about everything, like you're able to be totally like naked with that person without being naked. Then like in that moment you'll be like, wow, if I can do this with you, then the physical is going to be on another level. And I don't know for men specifically, I can't talk about it because I'm not a man, but for women, that sort of security with a man is something that is very, very hard to get like from every single man. Because like you'll find some guys that are just about sex.
Question for the last is not related with the topic. I mean, if you can talk about something related with the topic, feel free to do so. The question is, what do you want to tell to your 15 years old self?
Oh, wow, 15 years old. Oh, that was a very hard time for me. Very, very hard time for me. I think I would say breathe and kind of let God move you and stop being afraid of what's ahead. Because at the time I had just lost my dad, and I didn't know where I was going to go in life. I didn't know if I was going to, if what I thought my life would be what it is now. I'm so grateful for what my experiences have been, but I was just lost. I didn't really have direction in that sense, and I wasn't able to really like bring it across around the people I was with, that I was struggling in that sense, that I wasn't happy. So I would tell her like not to be like fearful, not to be scared, to be a bit more in the moment, because I had so many things happening to me, but like I didn't really like take time to think about it. But yeah, I would say mostly, and to be more, I would say to be more not in the moment. There's a word that I'm looking for, but I'm just
like grateful, even though it's painful, yeah. But it's grateful.
Grateful, that's the right word, because I mean, like a lot of things, there's so many things that we as people take for granted. But when I was at 15 years old, like even though that was like a very bad moment in my life, I still had family with me. I still had the people I loved around me, even though this person, my dad, left. And it was a hard time for me, but I would have been more grateful and more in tune. And I would tell her that like, the best is yet to come. There's so much that I have experienced ever since, and I'm just like, wow, this happened, and I'm happy. I'm happy that I experienced it. I'm happy for the good and the bad, because it lets you like kind of see perspective and be happy. Yeah.
What do you see yourself now?
Well, and I'm still a work in progress, but I've started to believe in myself a bit more, which is very grateful what I used to be. You know, like when you do like a mirror, there are things that I've achieved in my life, and I'm just like, okay, wow, it just went like that, and I didn't really pause and say like, Liz, you did this. So like now I'm like at the beginning of the curve, like, okay, I'm starting a new journey in Brazil. France is kind of ending. So I'm like, okay, Liz, you've done this. At least this part of the masters is done. So like, okay, I'm going to Brazil, but the future still has a lot to hold for me. So let me just be more in the moment. Let me enjoy the moment as well. Let me experience life and be not very, how would I call it, aloof. I want to really be in the moment and enjoy life. really enjoy life, not just like, okay, going to experience, but like enjoy the people that I have around me as well and make memories. Yeah.
So it's the same question, but it's different time. What do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Oh, Lord, please. I think the most important thing is I want to be self-assured and I want to be my own boss. Lord, that's the most important thing. Like, I want to be able to say, okay, for example, I want to fly to Milan because I want to go for Fashion Week. That's just how sometimes I think. I want to be able to do that. I want to say everything that I want to do and do it.
Yeah.
So for me, I want to be assertive and I want to be successful, happy, hopefully married. Hopefully married.
Yeah.
And like with kids, maybe.
Yeah. How many kids you want?
I don't know right now. I'm sticking between like 3 to 5. But then that's according to like my husband.
Yeah.
Or 1. I'm like an odd number kind of girl. Like if I have 1 kid and I'm like, okay, it's done. It's done. But like I won't have like 2 or 4. I like odd numbers for some weird reason. So it's 1, 3 or 5. 5 is the max. I don't think I'm gonna go past 5. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for today.